You know, there's a reason people like going back and watching thrillers from the 1990s because they don't feel old, they feel dangerous. And these are the best 90s thrillers that still hold up today. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so we have been talking about the wild side of this era here lately on the channel. The thrillers, the steamy thrillers, these types of movies that maybe we saw them too young, the ones that stuck with us. But there's another side to these movies, the ones that genuinely still work today, that feel like they were made more recently even, and not just because of nostalgia, but because of how well they are made. And if you have seen some of these, I guarantee you will agree, and if not, you're going to find some new favorites. So let's count them down, starting at number 10. We have Unlawful Entry from 1992, and this is one that a lot of people might have forgotten, or they just never got around to. Unlawful Entry, though, stars Kurt Russell, Ray Liotta, and Madeline Stowe. So you have a great cast in this thing. And it's this couple that gets their house broken into, and in the aftermath, they meet the police officer played by Ray Liotta, and at first he's exactly who you want. He's helpful, he's attentive, he's always around when they need him. Because that attention starts to change, though, and that's when things get interesting, because he slowly turns into someone else, and he starts inserting himself into their lives more and more, showing up uninvited, blurring that line between, like policeman and intruder. And Liotta plays the shift so well. This is a perfect role for him. He doesn't flip the switch overnight. It is very gradual, which makes it more uncomfortable, and that's why it still works. It's simple, it's grounded, it feels real all the way through, and that kind of makes it hold up today. It could have been in any era. It makes it perfect for a list like this, plus the star power. Unlawful Entry comes in at number 10. Now at number 9, we have 1997's The Game, and this one is kind of different. It's one of those movies that can hook you immediately. Michael Douglas, he played in a lot of movies, thrillers from the 90s. He plays a wealthy, isolated guy who basically has everything that he could possibly want except for any real connection in his life. And for his birthday, his brother, played by Sean Penn, gives him access to this mysterious company that offers him a game. That's all he's told. And once it starts, this one's one I got to tread lightly so I don't give it all away. Once it starts, it just slowly takes over everything. His house, his job, his relationships, and he starts to feel manipulated. Everything feels manipulated. And that's what kind of makes this so effective, is you're right there with him. You don't know what's real either. You don't know what's part of the game. And David Fincher, fittingly, this is a David Fincher movie all the way. He directs it where every scene feels important, it feels deliberate, and everything is building towards something, and it keeps you locked in the entire time. Could be made 5 years ago. This just happened to have been made almost 30 years ago at this point, but The Game still holds up today. It comes in at number 9. Now at number 8, we have one of my favorites again in Kurt Russell with 1997's Breakdown. This is one of the purest thrillers, just pure thriller on this list. It has no gimmicks, no big twists layered on top of each other, just a absolutely nightmare fuel scenario executed perfectly. Kurt Russell and Kathleen Quinlan are traveling across country. That's something that always gets people creeped out anyway. But then their car breaks down and she has to accept a ride from a passing truck to go get help. And that seems simple enough, but when Russell's character starts to go looking for her, no one even admits that she was there. The driver denies it. People act like he's imagining things, and suddenly he is completely alone in the middle of nowhere trying to figure out what happened. And from there, it just becomes a relentless chase. And what makes this thing hold up, you got great acting, right? You got Kurt Russell in here. But it's so tight. The script is so tight. The movie's so tight. No wasted scenes, no wasted anything, no filler. It just keeps moving. It feels real. You're in this out of water, fish out of water scenario, place that you're not comfortable in, and everything is going wrong, and everyone's against you, and no one's there to help. It is scary. Breakdown comes in at number 8. Now, at number 7 is 1998's A Simple Plan. And this is one of the movies that sticks with you also because of how believable it is. You'll find a lot of the movies on this list, they're here because they feel very grounded. They could have happened at any time. They're not like a product of the 90s or 80s or anything like that. So it doesn't date them in any way. And A Simple Plan is definitely like that. You've got a great cast. You've got Bill Paxton, you've got Billy Bob Thornton, Bridget Fonda, and they find a crashed plane in the snow. And inside is got a bag filled with cash. And they make what feels like a logical decision as a group. They're going to keep the money and they're going to lay low until things blow over. But this movie is not about the money. That's what it seems like on the surface. It's about what the decision to keep the money and hide the truth does to them. It's about, like, once they cross that line, everything starts to shift between them and all of their situations. Trust breaks down. People start making even worse decisions based on the initial decision, and then everything just spirals, and it never feels exaggerated at all. And this is a Raimi movie, so it is just so well done. It feels like something that could actually happen, and you see the consequences play out. Underrated movie. Definitely holds up today. A Simple Plan. At number 6, we have 1999's The Talented Mr. Ripley. Now, it helps that this is 1999, but hey, that's still like 27 years ago at this point. But you also have Matt Damon starring in here, and that kind of adds to it holding up today. But this is a very different kind of thriller. More quiet, super character-driven, but very intense. You got Matt Damon, who plays Tom Ripley, a guy who is sent to Italy to bring back a wealthy playboy played by Jude Law. And instead of just doing his job, he becomes obsessed with Jude Law's lifestyle. The money, the freedom, the identity, the access. And what starts as an admiration for this lifestyle turns into something a whole lot darker, because Ripley doesn't just want to be part of that world. He wants to be someone else. And the tension in this movie comes from watching how far he's willing to go to make that happen. And when his motives start to get questioned and he starts to get pushed, it takes a whole other level. It's going to whack you over the head, and you'll see it. But man, this is one that definitely holds up today. And a lot of people don't talk about this one. Very different character-driven thriller. Check out The Talented Mr. Ripley. And then you have Primal Fear. And this one feels like a courtroom drama if you just look at it on the surface. But what pulls you into this movie is the strong premise of it. And then it just keeps adding layers once you get into this movie. Richard Gere is the star in here. They got Edward Norton. You've got a cast in this movie. But he plays a high-profile defense attorney who takes on the case of a young altar boy played by Edward Norton, accused of murdering a powerful archbishop. And at first, this seems, like I said, like a classic sort of courtroom drama, courtroom thriller. Richard Gere believes his client. The case feels winnable. It kind of feels like everything is just paint by numbers. But the more he digs, the more complicated everything becomes. And Norton's performance in this movie is next level, especially for like a big debut like this. And what makes it unforgettable is because you're constantly questioning what you are seeing. And some of his scenes where it looks like he flips out or he flips out, this thing is definitely different for this list. But with the acting and the kind of story it is, again, there's no datedness to it in that regard. So it definitely holds up today. Primal Fear comes in at number 5. Now, number 4 is where everything sort of comes together with 1997's LA Confidential. Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, and Kevin Spacey all playing very different cops in a city that is absolutely just built on corruption, which may not be far from the truth. You've got multiple investigations, multiple agendas, and everything slowly starts connecting. And what makes this movie hold up so well, again, it's a tightly written script, a tight story. Nothing feels wasted. Every character matters. Everything they do matters. There's no wasted effort in the movie. In a thriller like this with mystery elements to it, you want no waste. You want to get going through there, and every storyline feeds into the bigger picture. And by the end, everything clicks into place in a satisfying way. I'm not going to give it away, but not everyone does the right thing to get to the right place. Like, do the ends justify the means? All these kind of questions are asked. It is very well acted, very well done. Different kind of movie. LA Confidential still holds up though. Check it out. It comes in at number 4. Now, number 3 actually holds up so well. It feels so new and fresh that I was actually surprised this was mid-90s. And when I started doing this list, because I've seen it so many times, it's Seven from 1995.
Put the gun down.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, baby.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
Not till you give me the
What's
gun.
in the fucking box?
Give me the gun. He just told you.
You lie!
This one is in its whole other realm, because this one hits just as hard now as it did then. You got Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, Kevin Spacey. Pitt and Freeman play 2 detectives who are tracking a killer who is structuring his crimes around the 7 deadly sins. And the deeper they go, the darker everything becomes. The world feels grimy, oppressive, like there's no way out of it. And what makes it hold up is the performances and the atmosphere. It feels as fresh today as it did 30 years ago when you watch it. From the first scene to the last scene, it pulls you into this world and doesn't let go, and you empathize. I'm not going to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, I get this, 30 years old, but when you go watch it, everything hits just as hard then, or just as hard now as it did then. Watch it, think about it. Man, Seven. It's not a movie that's easy to watch, though. I'll say that. It's not easy to watch, but worth your time. It comes in at number 3.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Silence of the Lambs coming in at number 2 from 1991. And it is one that feels like it's borderline horror, right? And this one is still very much talked about today, so it feels fresh. Again, despite being 35 years old. It makes me feel very old. But this is one of those movies that just operates on another level. Jodie Foster playing Clarice Starling, a trainee trying to track down a serial killer. And to do that, she has to work with Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter. And what makes this movie so effective and makes it hold up is the interaction between those 2 characters. And the first time they meet, it seems like it's going good, and then it's not going good, and then it seems like it would go the way you think it's going to and falls apart. And then there is some care, some empathy in Hannibal Lecter for Clarice right off the jump that shows a whole other side to him and a whole different connection between those 2 that sets the movie going. So it's the interaction between those 2. It's not just the solving the case or the grisly things that are going on. It's about understanding the mind and the minds behind it. And those scenes between them, they're still some of the best scenes that you're going to see in a movie like this. Great movie, Silence of the Lambs. I dare anyone to argue with me that it doesn't hold up today. It had to be here. It comes in at number 2.
If it's between you and some poor bastard whose wife you're going to turn into a widow, brother, you are going down.
And at number 1, we have 1995's Heat. This one stars Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and they've been in a lot of crime dramas and stuff like that, but this one moves more into a thriller kind of category, in my opinion. And it's so well done. You've got a detective and professional criminal both operating at the highest levels of their professions. And what makes this movie stand out is how much time it spends building up basically the case, the life, the person on both sides. You understand how each think, what drives them, and what they are willing to sacrifice. And when their worlds finally collide, it feels earned. And the action is incredible in this movie. So is the tension. It's constant. You've got Al Pacino when he goes off on someone. You like, it's Al Pacino, but then it's not him anymore. You don't see Al Pacino, you see his character, and that's hard for a character of his level. The tension is constant in the movie, but it's the characters that make it last, that make this movie last, and that's why it still holds up better than a lot of things from that decade. You got these iconic characters, iconic film, great performances. You got your head all the way up there because Heat is number one. And that's what separates the best 90s thrillers from other eras, is they weren't just shocking, they weren't just steamy, although there was plenty of both of those things. And they definitely weren't nostalgic. They hold up, but they were built on strong characters, strong writing, great directing, great acting performances that deliver tension and a story that feels real and grounded, and that still makes it work today. Hollywood today could take a hell of a lot of notes, because that's why people keep coming back to them. And that's what I got for you this time. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to help support what we're doing here a little more, you can join my Patreon. And over on Patreon, you're going to find behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only videos, 4K reviews, deep dives into movies, entertainment discussions, and so much more. And of course, you'll get your name and lights on every single video, and I really do appreciate it. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.